Hello there everyone, and welcome to another episode of games I've been playing recently. I just wanted to start off with two games that I don't physically have, one of which is Assassin's Creed 4. And the reason I don't have it anymore is because, for me, although I did like it, I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than number 3. It's just that it's another Assassin's Creed game. I mean, Ubisoft release one every year now, and I always feel like ever since the second game, they've sort of slowly but surely gotten worse and worse. But number 4 was actually pretty good, and it's a step in the right direction. But I don't really see myself playing it a second time, so that's why I decided to sell it in preparation for other games in the future. And also the other game I played recently is Valiant Hearts, The Great War. This is based on World War One. It's developed, or at least the artwork is from the same team who worked on games such as Rayman Origins and Legends, and also Child of Light. And I think this one is a really, really good entry for them, because not only does it look great, it's got some very interesting puzzles, but also it gives you little insights to what people had to deal with in the war, World War One. And but it doesn't force it upon you. It doesn't deliberately have to make you sort of read all the text and all the history behind the war. It's completely optional, and I think that that sort of spurred me to sort of be more interested in the First World War while playing this game, rather than have it sort of shoved in my face like some other sort of educational sort of games in the past would do. Okay, and now I'm going to go to my physical games I have with me. The first one is Watch Dogs on the PS4. Now I have spoken about this previously, and but this was at a point where I hadn't quite beaten the game yet, because I'd only just had it for like a week or so. And but yeah, I've beaten the story, and yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's amazing as I was hoping it to be, but certainly not in terms of dialogue or some of the voice acting. I mean, Aidan Pearce's voice actor just occasionally just puts me to sleep. He's just so monotone and just like so lifeless at times, and the fact that he only has like one expression throughout the entire game just really put me off. But what I do like about this game is the amount of things you can do, the attention to detail in the actual world itself. Even though also the multiplayer is quite limited, the experiences I've had like with my friends, we sort of create our own sort of things to play. Like we'll sort of have two players sort of hide and like in the city, and like the rest of us have to try and find them, because you can only see each other on the radar like really close up. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun with that. I also really like the digital trips, especially the flower one. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's really really out there compared to the rest of the game. So but yeah, I think the hacking's really good as well. I just again, I love the ability to sort of complete a sort of gang hideout mission without actually physically setting foot into the actual area itself, just hacking away through, sort of setting off explosives, dropping things on people, just generally sort of creeping them the fuck out, which is it's really entertaining once you figure out the best sort of strategies to complete those missions. So yeah, Watch Dogs. Next up, I have God of War 3 on PS3. Now, I didn't really get into the second game that much, mainly because when I bought it, it was at a point where it was at a point where I got a 360 just a few months later, and I had sort of put it on the back burner for like months and months and months until I sort of lost interest in it for a while, and I recently beat it near the end of last year, and it just prompted me to play number 3, and my god, it's just my experiences with this game compared to the second one are just night and day, just completely different. I absolutely adore this game. Just the variety of weapons, the epic boss battles, the fact that even 4 years since this has been released, it still looks amazing to this day. And yeah, I will definitely play through this one a second time. It's absolutely superb. Next up, I have Metal Arms Glitch in the System on the PS2. Unfortunately, I've only played the first 3 levels, and I'm really struggling to get into this one. I know it's got something of a cult following, but I don't know. It's just I can't really get into it. I don't know if it's the design of the game, the double jump in particular. I just can't get used to it at all. I mean, I play games where the double jump is really good, like in Jak and Daxter, for example. I just love the double jump in that game, and like various different other sort of platformers like that. Sly Cooper would be another one. This one just, I don't know, it just feels a little bit unfinished to me. I don't know why, but the plus point, I mean, it's kind of, I kind of like the humour. I mean, the voice actors are pretty good. It has Dan Castellaneta, who's like the voice of Homer Simpson, along with many other sort of characters. Rob Paulson, who's done the voice of like Raphael from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, among other characters, and also Patrick Warburton, who does the voice of Joe in Family Guy, and yeah, it's got a pretty decent set of voice talent in here, but yeah, I just can't get into the gameplay. It's I'll probably give it another shot and see if my mind changes sort of later on, but yeah, it's just not really for me, unfortunately. Next up, I have Super Mario All Stars. I'm mainly focusing on the very first Super Mario Bros., which, funnily enough, is actually the the first game I ever owned and never played. So, or one of the first games I ever played, and yeah, it's just really nice getting back to like my roots, really. And I never played this particular version because I played 1, 2, and 3 on the original NES, and I absolutely loved all of them. And yeah, since I got a SNES last year, I thought I'd get this as well. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Although I'm up to like World 5 now, and the game's kicking my ass. I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was as a gamer, but yeah, I'll be here at some point. I mean, Super Mario Bros. 3 is my favourite Mario game of all time, and that's the one I consider myself the best at anyway. Next up, we have the Saboteur on the PS3. I played this for around 2 hours now, and It's developed by Pandemic, same people made Mercenaries and Destroy All Humans, games like that, and also Star Wars Battlefront. It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not amazing exactly, but every sort of element of this game is quite solid. The graphics, the driving, the game, the shooting, the combat, everything sort of works, fairly competently. But and also I do like how if you notice there, everything's all in the sort of noir sort of colour palette, I guess you could say. The reason it's that colour is because the Nazis are sort of controlling that particular area, and once you take control of that area, everything goes back into colour. So I thought that was a nice little touch. But yeah, and the story's pretty decent so far. The voice acting is absolutely horrendous, especially from the main character. It's one of the most dodgy Irish accents I've probably ever heard in my life. But yeah, it's kind of it doesn't really take itself too seriously, I guess. But yeah, it's quite good for what it is. Next up, we have Killzone on the PS2. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Killzone series. I mean, I've beaten both 2 and 3. Not really going to be bothering with Shadowfall because I've watched other people play it and just have been very unimpressed. I would say that this is probably the best game out of all of them in terms of single player, but even so, I'm still not a huge fan of this series, so I probably won't play this again. But it was decent for an FPS. I kind of prefer the sort of more fast-paced ones like Black and Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect, stuff like that. But it's still decent. Next up we have Ape Escape 2. Now this is one I've been playing on and off for the past 6 to 9 months now. I got to a point about halfway through where I just I don't know, I just felt the campaign went a little bit too long, and I will say that the second half of the campaign just drags on way too much. But so a lot of the gadgets are quite inventive, like the sort of magnet gun where you can sort of stick to walls. Although that did have one of the that particular gadget had like what was used in probably one of the worst levels I've played in both Ape Escape games combined. Well, the first two I've played so far. But yeah, I actually really like this game. Not as much as the first one, but and mainly because I actually went back and sort of collected all the monkeys before I got to the final battle. And what I didn't realise was that if you do that, there's still like secret ones that you can't capture until you get the very last gadget in the game. And that really annoyed me, but yeah, once you get that last gadget, you do feel like you're completely invincible and just like tear any sort of threatening monkey with like armor or whatever it has, or like guns, weaponry, whatever, and just annihilate them with this sort of boxing glove gadget. And I thought it was pretty good. Next up we have Yakuza 3. Again, like some of the other games I mentioned, with God of War. Love the first game. One of my favourite games of all time. The second one, I think had like a different director, and it sort of took the series in a completely different direction. And then, ironically, one of the main characters from Yakuza 2, the start of this game gets completely ditched at the very opening cutscene of the game. And but yeah, graphically, this game has really been like upped from the previous two. Unsurprisingly, being made on the PS3 this time. And the gameplay is fantastic as ever. The fighting mechanics have been improved. There's more areas to explore. It almost feels a little bit too big, but there's enough there to keep you occupied for many hours. I ended up clocking around 35 hours. Most of that was from side well, half of that was from like side missions and general other sort of little mini games I was playing, and the other half was from the main story itself. So yeah, it's pretty beefy in terms of content. So yeah, you definitely won't be bored with this. And I'm currently playing through Yakuza 4, but I'll save that for next time. And finally, I have Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. Now, I did actually enjoy the first one, but one of the things I hated was the platforming sections. I felt there was too much of it, and it was really frustrating because you didn't really have a decent enough control of your character. But this one sort of it strips a lot of that away and sort of focuses on where the first game really shone, and that was with the action, the shooting, the bullet time, the comic book style cutscenes / dialogue, and the story is really great in this one. I'd probably say it's the best out of the 3 Max Payne games, and yeah, I had an absolute blast playing through it. I had a little bit of trouble with a couple of sections. There was like a lot of freezing. There was like the occasional bit of slowdown in certain cutscenes, but other than that, a really fantastic game, and I highly recommend that. If you enjoyed the first one, you will definitely enjoy this one too. Okay, and that's it for the games I played recently, episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for another episode in the very near distant future. So stay tuned for that, and take care everyone. Bye bye.